getting back on a neighbor's bathroom. I've already redone their kitchen for them, and now they want me to redo their bathroom cabinets. Almost the same, but not quite as dark. This is one of the cabinets right here. It was hanging in the kitchen. She wanted me to take it down from the kitchen and relocate it to the bathroom. So we're staining it to match the furniture that's in the bedroom, because half the master bathroom is in the master bedroom. But when we went and I built a new pantry for her kitchen, I had to rebuild some new doors, because the pantry that I put in was bigger than the existing one, so obviously existing doors wouldn't work. So I had to build new doors, and we couldn't find that trim. The trim that's on these bathrooms in this subdivision, you can't get it. All these are 17, almost 20 years old now, so you can't really get that trim anymore. And I'm just starting on the router, so I wasn't going to try and do compound edges on a router just yet. Plus I don't have the bits for it. So we went ahead and we bought new trim for the bathrooms, because they don't have to match the kitchen, because they're all the way over on the other end of the house. So we went ahead and took the trim off all the bathroom doors, plus the laundry room doors, plus the one cabinet door that we converted to 5 drawers, gave us the trim off of that, and that's what we used on the new pantry door. So now what I got to do is these 4 doors, these go to the 2 master bathroom doors, and these go to that cabinet there that's going in their master bathroom. And so I just need to make some new trim. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to measure them out. I'm going to 45 degree. I'm going to go ahead and use my table saw for this. I don't have a bevel gauge, but that's okay. I do have a combination square, and everything I'm doing is going to be 45 degree cuts anyhow, so I don't really need a bevel gauge for this. So this is how a woodworker keeps doing woodworking. If you're out there and you're working in your driveway or whatever, and people come by and they see you working, and especially if you're doing a fairly decent job, they're going to approach you. And why not? That's how we're able to keep doing our hobby, is by our neighbors and our friends wanting things and wanting things done. So that's how you do it. You get out there, you let people see you work, let people see you working. They will come. What's the old phrase? If you build it, they will come, and it's no joke. So anyway, we're getting back on these bathroom cabinets. I'll go ahead and bring you guys along for this one. I didn't bring you guys along for the kitchen because I wasn't really making videos at that time. This is something that I'm just branching out into. So, alright, stick around and watch this bathroom. One of the disadvantages excuse me, of working in a small shop is sometimes pieces are too long to even fit in the shop. So this one's hanging outside the shop just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is instead of trying to do this on the table saw with no extension wing on it and just a stock miter gauge, which left it way out over there, I was really not comfortable with that. So what I'm going to do is I just went ahead and set it up here, got it in position. I'm just going to go ahead and cut these by hand. I'm using my miter box. So I think it's going to be easier, and well, it won't be easier, but it'll definitely be safer. This is one of the issues that small shop woodworkers have to deal with. Got most of the trim pieces cut now. What I did was I went ahead and just measured them based on the inside board, the inside of the door, and just cut them to size. I used the miter box for most of them because they were way too long to use on the table saw, and I did cut the last few on the table saw, but boy, those cuts sure come out a lot cleaner and nicer on the table saw. But anyway, what I did was I went ahead and I used my combination square to measure the distance of one of these trim pieces. Okay, because you can still see the mark from the old trim piece, so I wanted to know how far in I needed to be. So I went ahead and I used my combination square to mark that out, and I went ahead and put that distance on all of the trim pieces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a router, and I'm going to just go ahead and flatten these down a little bit to where these sit into a little groove. So I went ahead and I marked the sides of all the pieces so I know how far in my router bit needs to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just use the board here to set up my depth cut or cut depth on the router. I'll go ahead and set all that up, and I'll be right back and show you how to do that. Next, I changed the router bit. I went ahead and pulled the router out and changed the router bit to my 1/2 inch straight edge. I was going to use the 1/4 inch, but it still left a little bit of a edge on it, and I didn't really want to have to make 2 passes on it. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one and put the router back in and go ahead and cut the or set the cut depth. Alright, on these bathroom cabinets, what I did was I went ahead and I set up the right distance for the router bit. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use the actual cabinet door to set my cut depth. And then we'll go ahead and give it a try. Then I just use the door to set, to loosen the router housing and set the bit depth even with the door. And now I've got the fence set for the width that I need. I've got the bit set for the height that I need. So we're going to go ahead and give this a try. Back on the neighbor's bathroom, got the drawer faces. I got one of the drawer faces already installed. I got the other 2. These are really close to what I have the cabinet boxes stained at. There, these haven't been smooth sanded yet, but I want to get them just kind of close and then get them over there, get them installed, and then any fine tuning as far as the color and tone goes, I'll do there, so that way I have it compared to the cabinet boxes that are already there and done. I've got one side of all these doors, we went ahead and we got this other trim here. It's same width, just slightly different design, but shouldn't be really that too big of a difference. And plus it's going into the bathroom, so it doesn't really have to match the kitchen, because the bathroom that it's going into is all the way over on the other side of the house. So these are the 4 doors that are going into the cabinet that I had here for a long time. It's done. It's hanging up in their master bathroom, just waiting for its doors, which are these 2 right here. And then the original existing cabinet box is just waiting for its 2 doors. And then it's got 2 more drawers that need the drawer faces, which I'll probably take over and install today because they're ready to put in. Then finish staining them. And so that's it. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go ahead and get these sides, this side of them stained, and then I'm going to go ahead and start cutting the trim pieces for the outside of the door. Now I already have some pieces here that are pre-cut for the size of the doors. Now the reason that I have those is because she got this trim originally, and this is what we're going to try and use, but it's way too narrow. Way too narrow. The doors, I would have had to cut new panels on the doors in order to be able to make them even fill the opening of the cabinet. So we just went ahead and got a trim that is the same as the existing trim that I took off. So like I said, same width, just slightly different style pattern on it. And that's it. So I'll be back as soon as I get these stained, and we'll start cutting the trim pieces. Okay, I've got the 4 doors. I've got them stained on that other side, the first initial coat anyhow. I got them outside drying on my paint table. And I went ahead and set up the trim piece that I'm going to be cutting for the doors. 2 of them anyhow. And like I said, I'm just using the old trim piece that I cut before as a template, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut 4 of these, and then well, actually I'm just gonna go ahead and cut them all. Okay, got the main trim pieces cut for the sides of the longest doors, and now I need to just route a rabbit in it right here, or a rebate to Alex, and I should already have this set up from the last one. This should be perfect size for the panels that's fitting in there, because I did just do the smaller trims just the other day, and like I said, they weren't wide enough, so everything should already still be set up. So I'm just going to go ahead and route those, and as you can see, it's just a straight edge bit, nothing fancy, just like I said, it's just a standard rabbit, aka rebate. Okay, got those routed out. Like I said, it's just a simple straight edge rabbit, absolutely nothing fancy to it, just a simple route. And I went ahead, and even though I haven't mitered these ones, the shorter ends, I did go ahead and rabbit those, so that way I don't have to worry about it later, and I can fine tune them and adjust them as I need to. Alright, so these 2 doors are done. I'm going to go ahead and start cutting that other trim piece for the other side doors. Getting back on neighbor's bathroom again, I had to put it off on hold. You may remember that cabinet that was sitting out there for a while. I got that done, got that in her master bathroom, got that installed. That was actually a cabinet that I took out of the kitchen and relocated to the master bathroom because she wanted me to build a pantry. And that's kind of the problem. I got one door is done, just got a little bit of a seam work to do on it, nothing really major, and then stain it. And so now I'm going on to the second door, and then I got 2 more doors to assemble after that, and then the main construction portion of the bathroom job is done. And I've already been over at her house, and I've already done a lot of the work over there. Got the cabinet boxes, I've got them stained, got that one hung, got one of the drawer faces. The other drawer faces I have are sitting right over there. They're pretty much done, ready to be put in. But I kind of wanted to get these doors done so I can just go ahead and install everything all at once and finish it up. Now here's the situation. This is why I got so far behind. I actually did her kitchen before, and I do have video and pictures of that, and I'll go ahead and include that in the video as well. Well, the kitchen ended up taking, because I mean we did everything. We restained all the cabinets, took a desk out and another cabinet out and built a pantry, an oversized pantry, and also took a regular cupboard and converted it into 5 drawers. Well, that ended up taking me 2.5 months to redo her kitchen. Well, in the meantime, everything in here was just piling up and stacking up. You couldn't even walk through the shop. And as you can see, I've got some walking space here, but the way it was while I was working on that kitchen for 2.5 months, everything in here just got piled up, and it was just really bad. Couldn't even get through. I'm still not completely done, but got a lot of it straightened out. So then I started getting onto her bathrooms, and then as soon as I got done with the kitchen, I came back here and started cleaning up, and it took me a little over a week, about a week and a half. That workbench and that cabinet there was over here where all of this stuff is right now, and then that back there had my storing some extra doors, and which actually ended up becoming my workbench, and some other stuff over there, and a saw blade rack that ended up got broken to about 3 different pieces as I was taking it down, so now I got to build another one of those. So anyway, so that took me about a week and a half to get this shop set up. So then I got back on her bathrooms, started getting them done. Then I got sick. Then I got sick for, I was down for about 4 days. Couldn't do anything for about 4 days. So then I started getting back on her bathrooms again, and that's when I had a problem with the garage door, which I do have a video of the Battle of Garage Door. It's actually called Timberatus Garage Door, which is part timber and part apparatus. So anyway, so that's done. I just finished that up yesterday. So now I'm back on these bathrooms. Real long backstory there, but anyway, so like I said, I got one door already completed over there. I got this one, it's gluing up, it's the last piece to glue up, and then I can go ahead and go on to these two doors and get them done, and then it's just a matter of going over there, getting them installed, and finishing up the stain. And then I do the second bathroom, and then when I'm done with the second bathroom, I have to redo a curio that's in her living room, because now it's the only light piece of wood left in her house now, so it kind of stands out, so it's going to have to be done. And this is how Poe woodworkers keep working. Okay, got the 4 doors constructed. I do need to do a little bit of work on this couple of the seams. A little bit screwed up on a couple of my cuts. Tried to do a couple of them quick way. Well, what I thought was going to be a quick way, and it wasn't. I should have just done them all on my table saw with my miter gauge. So I did, after a couple of them that I screwed up, I did start doing the miter gauge. But once I did start doing them with the miter gauge, they started coming out a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just regular Bondo. This is what I use instead of wood putty. I don't use a lot of wood putty because it doesn't stain very well. I don't care how much they say they're stainable. I've always found from my experience that they do stain lighter than everything else, and they are noticeable unless you're going really dark on them. And also I've found that just regular household spackling works really good for small little like nail holes and things. It dries really well, stains perfectly. And also with Bondo, I use Bondo because Bondo dries harder and stronger than any wood filler I've seen. I've used it to rebuild corners of dressers and couches and stuff, and it works really good in these seams, and it also adds a lot more support to it than regular putty does. So I'm going to go ahead and putty these up, or Bondo these up, just a couple of seams, and then they should be ready for final sanding and stain tomorrow. Okay, another day back on the on my neighbor's bathroom, master bathroom actually. I went ahead and I put the putty on it, the Bondo that I told you that I use. I went ahead and put that on. I let that sit overnight and let it dry. I didn't really get a whole lot of chance yesterday to work on them because it was just so hot here. I do live in southern Nevada. We had extreme heat warnings for yesterday, and we also have them for today, but there is a breeze, so that kind of helps a little bit, and plus having both garage doors open with a fan in the middle, that helps a little bit too. But it still maintains pretty much 100 degrees or over in the shop most of the time, but that's what you deal with when you live in a desert. So anyway, I did go ahead and let these sit actually for 2 days for the Bondo to fully dry, and then I just used my palm sander and I just went over and did the main portions of the sanding, because Bondo is very difficult to sand by hand. You have a lot of it and it's really tough. And you know, I gotta interject in just a minute. Let me tell you about this little palm sander right here. This is a Craft-Tech palm sander, and I bought this palm sander about 15 years ago, back when I used to shop at Walmart. I do not shop at Walmart anymore, and I have many reasons why I don't. But anyway, I bought this at Walmart, and it was on clearance for like $14.57, a little bit under 15 bucks. And I've had this palm sander for over 10 years. It's still working. It works great. I've used it on everything from cars to drywall to homes to woodworking. I've sanded metal with it. This palm sander has really done it's well paid for itself a number of times over. So I don't know anything about the company Craft-Tech. I'm presuming that they're pretty generic, obviously, if they're being sold at Walmart. But anyway, it's a great palm sander. I really cannot say enough about this palm sander. No, I'm not being sponsored by anybody. I don't receive any cash or any kind of perks or anything for mentioning anybody's company name. Anything that you see me using, I actually use. I'm not using it because it's product placement. I'm not using it because I receive any kind of compensation for it. What you see in my shop and you see me using, I actually use. And if I give a shout out or a good review or something of a product, it's because I actually use the product and I know how it works. And this Craft Tech, I'm telling you, I cannot say enough good things about this Craft Tech palm sander. I have not seen it again since. I'm dreading the day that this palm sander dies, because then I got to try to find another one. And this Craft Tech has been absolutely amazing. But anyway, so here you can see the seams are coming out pretty good. Of course, these ones didn't have a whole lot of work. These ones I did with the my table saw. But now what I'm going to do is I went over it all with I do believe I have a 150 in here right now, which it should be a little bit heavier grit. I'm actually using an 80 on hand, by hand, to get it all the fine details and everything done. So that's what I'm going to do now, is I'm just going to go through and finish with the 80 sandpaper. I do have to take a chisel and kind of whittle these out a little bit, try to get these lines back in. Let me find one that I did and show you how it comes out. Yeah, like this right here. Do have to use a chisel to get these lines back in, because it's hard to get a palm sander and you can't get enough force with doing it by hand, trying to get down into the little edge. I mean, you can, but you can't really get any leverage behind it. So I just use the chisel, and I just use my small chisel. I don't know how this is going to work with one hand, and I just go through and take off. Yeah, see, I can't show you with one hand. I got to be able to hold it. I got to get a tripod. But anyway, so that's what I'm working on now, is getting these seams finished up so we can start getting them sanded or stained, and go ahead and get them put in. So that's where we're at. Like I said, I just use regular Bondo for all of my seam work, for any gaps or anything. Also, if I have a split in the wood, I'll glue it together, and then I'll put a skim coat of Bondo over top of it, and it just really protects it, makes it a lot stronger. So here we are. These doors are just about done. Then I can go get them put in and actually show you the actual bathroom. Okay, today I'm working over at my neighbor's house, so I brought you along this time so you can actually see the bathroom. This is the existing cabinet box that was already here. As you can see, it's pretty much just about staying. We're trying to match the bedroom furniture, and I think we're getting pretty close. The other one, the one that you saw in my shop, is hanging here. This was relocated from the kitchen, and these are the doors that I had to rebuild. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach these doors, replacing hinges and getting handles set, and then hopefully get this bathroom, master bathroom, finished up today. Alright, so let's get it done.